I think it really, can speak to people from all different backgrounds, not
Yeah.
just, Native people, but anyone who has felt like they haven't been able to come out of their shell or come out, been holding back so much in their life. And they're like, I want to tell these stories. And I think that's something that I hope people take away from them.
What's up, everyone? Tanya here with PopCulture.com, and I'm so happy to welcome one of the beloved stars of CBS's Ghost, now streaming on Paramount Plus. Román Zaragoza is here. Román, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and there's so much to talk about. Firstly, congrats on the success of Ghost. The show is so awesome. We are now in the summer of Ghosts, which is a really cool campaign that is taking place across the country. And you're fresh off the Carnegie Hall performance. So, what has been the most exciting thing that has come out of this whole loving experience and response from the show?
Oh gosh, it's been a lot. It's been amazing. I'm just so grateful to be on this journey with this amazing cast and team. There's been so many amazing events. Carnegie Hall, I grew up in New York City till I was 11, so being able to perform on that stage was pretty surreal.
Yeah, and it was a great performance. I got to watch it with the rest of the CBS employees, and you guys brought so much energy to the stage, and like it was maybe my favorite performance of the whole thing. So it was really well done. You guys did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the filming for the show is going to begin in Montreal this June, and the show will now be at 22 episodes. So I want to know, and I think the fans want to know, what is one of the biggest questions that you would want to know, answered for SAS?
There's a lot of questions. I think which is so exciting is like there's a lot to dive into. Of course, how he died is we might dive into that, who knows, or if he has a power, we don't know. I think there's some big questions and some fun answers that are going to come this season.
Yeah. And the Joes did share with us that there will be a further development in the Sass and Cheeky storyline. They want to see that develop and blossom. And so, I'm wondering, what do you hope to see for that relationship between the two? Because it was a very cute dynamic they had. And there was like little seeds of like, what we could learn about their relationship together.
I'm open to all of it. I guess I'm just really excited for let's like a bigger relationship between the two of them. Crystal is an amazing actor, so to be able to kind of work with her would be really really exciting.
Yeah, and that was such a fun episode too. Like that dynamic, like the whole thing with like, Jay trying to help with the text messages and then you trying to it was such a cute episode. It was so funny. One of my favorite things about Sass is that he's entirely his own character. He's not anything like the BBC counterpart. He's authentic. He's also not a caricature, and he's built off of these, great, discussions about Lenape culture and, from consultants that are actually on the show. So what did you take? Like, what exactly did it take for you to create this character and this voice for Sass?
It was a journey for sure. A lot of really amazing conversations with Joe Wiseman and Joe Port about where we wanted to go with him because he doesn't necessarily have a counterpart to the BBC version. He's this sarcastic character that kind of lives a little in a different world than all the other ghosts a little bit. And I think for me, I just wanted to make sure we brought kind of a contemporary voice to him as well, not try to keep him in like the 16th century, like bring him into the 21st century. And he's a smart guy, and I wanted to bring that into it. I think there's a lot of things that we've seen in native representation in TV and film that I really wanted to stay away from, stereotypes. And so in doing so, we just try to bring more of a three-dimensional character and honestly try to bring more of myself into him. And the more that I did that, the more fun we had. And yeah, he's just not afraid to speak his mind, which I've been learning from him, which is
Yeah.
great.
That's a
Yeah.
great thing. And like that's the thing too. Like what is the biggest takeaway of playing Sass for you? Like you do get to feel like you are building out of your shell, which is great. But what else did you discover about yourself through this character?
Well, I think for one is he's just so over so many things. He's like not trying to people please at all. And that's like the opposite of me. I'm such a people pleaser. I'm a performer, it's just how it is. So I think I've learned a lot from him of just, you don't always have to be the star in order to speak your mind. And
Yeah.
he's so brutally honest
Mhm.
sometimes, and he's
Yeah.
not afraid to step in when someone has said something incorrect,
Yeah.
which I love. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's not afraid.
Yeah, he's my favorite because he keeps it real. Like even in Trevor's pants, like Trevor was trying to cover up the entire the reason for why he lost his pants, but like you were like
Right.
calling him out on it, which was perfect. So let's talk about the Ghostwriter episode because another favorite of mine. I love the authenticity of it. I love how it's amplified with the Lenape consultants, and it stars your awesome dad, Gregory Zaragoza. So what was it about this episode that's become such a favorite among fans? People still love watching this one all the time, and it was just on last week. So I mean,
Yeah.
we love it.
It means a lot, I'm just grateful that we were able to tell this story, and to have my dad be part of it was a dream come true. And it was exciting to kind of be part of the process too. Like, they brought me into some production meetings, and that was the first time, like, as an actor, that I felt like I was really collaborating, which is really
Yeah.
cool, because that's very rare, especially in TV and film. It's very rare to have that opportunity. So that was really exciting to have Joe Baker there, who's our
Mhm.
Lenape consultant. Very active with us on these meetings. It was just really exciting, and also I just got to really play off Rose, who's an amazing actor, and to be able to learn from her from that experience of shooting that episode, it was just a dream come true,
Yeah.
and I'm just really grateful people resonated with it, because I think it really can speak to people from all different backgrounds, not
Yeah.
just Native people, but anyone who has felt like they haven't been able to come out of their shell, or come out, been able to, like, been holding back so much in their life, and they're like, I want to tell these stories, and I think that's something that I hope people take away from it.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part about the show. Like, we have this amazing diversity. We have representation, which is so important because it's important to see people that look like us. Like I get to see my family members in Utkarsh's role of Jay because like from South Asian background. And then of course there's the Jewish background. And then there's, Native Americans and Black, Americans. And so to see all of that, like just represented, it means it's so important. So what does that mean for you though, especially with your character to uphold that, respect and that social discussion that we need to show to people that it's important to be seeing our neighbors, seeing our best friends on a primetime television show, which is so rare to see.
Yeah, representation for me has been such a big part of my career. It
Mhm.
has been because of just how I present in the world, because of where I come from and my ancestors. It's inevitable that representation was going to be such a big part of my career, and to be on the show, and to hear from people will reach out to me on Instagram and stuff, and say, hey, like, thank you for being this representation that I never saw before, and also being like that mixed representation. I think there's because I've been trying to be very vocal about who I am apart from SAS, and I think that's been really exciting to hear how people feel represented in that regard as well. And yeah, representation is so important, because for me, like, I did see some representation growing up, but it was very scarce, and sometimes it was not as deep and not three-dimensional. The characters were very stereotypical. So to be able to be on a show where I feel very safe in my character, where I can really explore and feel that I can connect with him, and that he's deep and three-dimensional,
Yeah.
it's just been a dream come true.
Yeah, especially to add all these layers to all these characters, and they're very well developed. They have these beautiful backstories, which I'm so excited we're going to learn more about in season 2. But back to the Ghostwriter episode just for a minute. The end sequence, where Sass is doing that storytelling montage, that makes me cry. Like I know there's no dialogue, but the emotion and the performance you give is so powerful, and that whole atmosphere that the show built it around. So it felt almost like a theater monologue, and it was because it was very intimate too. So what went into creating that moment for you, especially with the cast kind of building off your emotion?
That was actually one of the most incredible days that I've probably had on set, because so I was presented with two Lenape stories, one from Joe Baker, from our Lenape consultant, and the other John Timothy found. He's our native writer in the writer's room. He's Muskogee Creek, and he found this in a book that Joe gave them to read over. And so I had these two stories, And then I ended up speaking to one of my mentors, Brent Florendo, who's from Warm Springs Reservation. He lives in Ashland, Oregon. He's a storyteller mentor of mine, and to have him, I just like talked to him because I was like, man, I need some help. I need some pointers, like, like what you got for me, and we just kind of like talked things through. And I adopted, with his blessing, one of his storytelling techniques. And so what I did is I ended up taking those two stories and kind of making them my own a little bit, and then I performed them. I performed them many times for the ghosts and Rose and Utkarsh, and it was just so amazing. And to have their energy with me, and we just kept, we would just run through the whole thing. We do parts of it. And it felt like I was back on stage, back doing theater again, which is where, which is my home. And so it was a really special day for sure.
Yeah. Outside of this episode, is there an episode or a moment that really stood out to you that you were like, oh, I like that line, or I like that moment?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so many. Outside of this episode, there's so many that I just, but I would say outside of this episode, oh, there's so many. I'd probably say there's this one moment where Utkarsh and I think it's the end of I want to say episode. It's Flowers article. It's where Shiki and I are. Utkarsh is helping me with
right.
that, and Utkarsh and I are just improvising, and we're just having so much fun. It's like the whole ghost sex line.
Yeah.
So like that was so much fun. I felt like I was like finding my groove. And it was, and of course, to work off Utkarsh and Rose is a dream come true.
Yeah, I had to say that the stuff between you and Thor is so funny too. Like that's like comedy gold.
Yes.
Like, you guys watching?
That's definitely another one for sure. Yes. Oh, Devan is Devan. I love Devan so much. So yeah, the stuff with the reality show was really fun.
It was so good. We were talking before a little bit about the powers and stuff, but we haven't seen Sasa's power, and I'm wondering, do you have an inkling of what you would like it to be, or what you would maybe want it to be? Because Richie did say that there was a power that was kind of spoken for with his character, but they scrapped the idea. So I'm wondering, something like that happened with yours, or?
No, there's nothing yet. I think we're still trying to wait and see what happens. I'm open. I just want mine to be the best. I just want my power to be the most powerful. That's it. That's all I want.
It would be great though. The thing about this show that I love so much is that it resonates with everybody. Again, we were talking about like how it's diversity, representation, and we get to like actually feel it, and we get to see our neighbors, our friends, our family in these types of characters. But the show has also been averaging 8.4 million viewers every week, and it's been doing amazing in the ratings. We haven't seen this in a long time for a comedy. What do you think it is about this show, compared to the other comedies that are even freshman hits like this one, that this one's standing out the most?
It's a good question. I will say we have to really give it up to the BBC version of Ghosts for laying such an amazing foundation for us. That show is incredible, and we were able to come in with already a good fan base and with good support. So that was already amazing. And then our writers are great, and we have an amazing ensemble. It's so much. We have fun. I think that's what I think matters. It's like if you have fun creating something, then people will resonate with it. That's just what I think. But there's so many things. Sometimes I have no idea. When we were shooting it, we're just like, I hope people like it. We have no idea. So because at the end of the day, like as an artist, you're just trying to create. You're not really trying to go out there to get views, but it feels good when people like it.
Yeah. And again, the Summer of Ghosts is, happening. It just kicked off, and are you going to be at the storyteller event in New York? Like, are these sort of...
We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. We'll see how it comes together.
Yeah. Can you tease the fans of what we can expect from that event in itself? Like from,
when I find out, I'll let you know. I'm still, we're still finding out more and more, but I'm so excited about the Summer of Ghosts. It's just so much fun. It's so cool. I'm pumped for it. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, we have so much from you guys. We have the music now, the musical also. That must have been so fun to film and to record. Like that was so great.
That was so much fun. Yeah, so a lot of my life has been doing musical theater. I grew up, in New York City. My dad was on Broadway when I was 3 years old. So like I grew up in this musical theater world, and
Mm.
so be able to record this amazing song and perform in Carnegie Hall, yeah, it was really cool.
So do you think we're going to see then a musical episode for Ghost? Because I know that Richie said maybe.
We shall see.
We
We
shall
shall
see.
see. We
Okay.
shall see.
We shall definitely see. Román, thank you so much for your time, my friend. It's always such a pleasure talking to you. Guys, for more with Román Zaragoza and Everything Ghost, which is now streaming on Paramount Plus, keep it locked to popculture.com for the latest.